So I've been shopping on Amazon, as we do, and I found a really lightweight runner that has tiny little ball bearings in, that's going to fit, I think, really well onto the side of our cabinet. And they are lightweight, and that's the key to these. How I'm going to fix them, I'm not quite sure. So the idea is they will go on the inside, maybe 2 up there, but because the wall thickness is really thin, using conventional screws or bolts is going to be difficult, because I still want to keep the modular system, meaning I want to take cabinets in and out and replace them, shuffle them around when I want to. So I'm going to mount these on provisioning, and I'm going to glue them on. Let's get into the machine shop and cut some wood up. So these runners are approximately 9.96 mils wide. So the thinking is that piece of wood will get glued onto there, and that runner will also get glued onto there, but most of the weight of the runner, or the load in the drawer, will be borne on this piece of wood there. That's the thinking anyway. So let's put one on and see if it works. I've made this jig, and my runner, or my runner support, is going to sit on there, and my slider on top. So this is all dry now, and then the hinge will get glued onto there. But before I do that, I've made a bit of a mistake, or I've had a rethink. If I remove this bit here, I can then glue on a vertical one here that would not only cover up the chip out, it would make this side bit much more rigid and give me an opportunity to mount a door on to one of the sides. So I'm going to remove that bit now and glue an extra piece on that edge. It's a little directional arrow just there, so make sure that is facing forward. .377, that's millimeters. 401 mils. So machine that up. Yep. And that's ready for glue. So far the runners are in, they seem quite firm. Just going to pull them out a little bit. For a spacer I put this piece of hardboard, about 3mm thick, just so that the bottom of the drawer doesn't touch the cabinet. First drawer. There is about a 2mm gap. So the next little jig will go to the bottom of this piece of hardwood, so I can just put the jig in there, put the hardwood on top and glue it on without having to measure. So that piece is going to be 77 millimeters tall. So the battens give me a opportunity for another shelf and also a fixing point for some handles. I'm going to use these T-nuts and they're very useful because they're going to the back of the batten. So if that's the back of the batten there, that hole's a little bit too small, and then what will happen, the screw will just draw it into there and make a very secure joint which I can screw into that. So the bolt from the runner will screw into that T-nut and pass right through. That's the hole for the bolt, which is 3 mils. This is a drill for the T-nut, but it's only going in the width of the batten. Jig will go on there. I put my bolt in there. The jig will sit on top. My T-nut is on the back, just here, and then to pull the T-nut in, see if it works. Oh well. I thought it was going to be a bit loose, but I think that's spot on. Really pleased with that. So I want the top drawer to be just over halfway in the same position as this one on the bottom. So to work that one out, I put my spacer back in between the two drawers, slide my top shelf in, and then I cut a piece of MDF, and that will slide in there. Then I'm going to have my batten that's going to be glued on and supporting the hinge again, and then slide in the hinge itself, or the runner, and that should line up just about the same as the bottom one. So I'm going to go ahead now and glue those battens on, and then we'll fix the top drawer, and then I'll come back to you when that's finished. So I don't know if you can see this on camera, but if I put a straight edge here, you can see I've got a bow in the side of the carcass, and that's on both sides. Now the thickness is just the thickness of this piece of plastic, this spacer. So what I'm going to do, what's happened is that because the drawer is too narrow, it's pulled in the carcass from both ends, creating that curve on each side. So I need to make a spacer that will go between the drawer and the drawer runner. So it needs to be about 1 millimetre thick, and that will just straighten up the edges. I found a piece of 1 millimetre thick acrylic. No, this is HIPS, high impact polystyrene. It's only 1 mil thick. I just cut a strip off, and I'm going to glue that onto there, and that will be my spacer. I'm just going to mark out where the holes are. And then I'll peel that wrapper off. It's got a little protective film on it I can peel off afterwards. I think that'd be a nice close fit to the runner colour. That feels better already. Yeah, there's no playing that at all. That's cool. So let's put a straight edge. Let's see if I've got rid of that bow. Yes, it's almost all gone. It's a fraction, almost the width of a piece of paper. So as I was pulling this drawer out to attach it, I noticed that it was tipping at the back a little bit, so I put a few weights at the back just to hold it in place so it's nice and level on the spacer that I've got here. And now I'm going to put these first two on, as I did with the lower shelf. Right, let's have a look, see if it works. Oh yeah. Ooh, double opening look. Oh, it's still got the jig in place. So that needs to come out. And then when I've got a handle, I'll be able to open that. So yes, so there I'm going to make a small drawer here now for cooking utensils. Some of you might be thinking, oh, I've left a hole there for a sink or a stove. I haven't. It's there to reduce weight. The actual cooker itself will be freestanding, and the sink will be located somewhere else, but also freestanding, so that these cabinets are modular. They can be interchanged with each other to fit how we want to live in the van. That will change over time. So I'll go ahead and make this one now, and then exactly the same processes, and I'll come back and explain to you what we've done. Just adding some additional wood to the sides, one to straighten up a little bit, and secondly to allow any load here to be transferred through the wood down to the floor. Don't expect lots of load to be on this, but
starting to
do
break.
want it to be strong, but light. We will lose space as well, so this is the prototype, and we'll go back to the next version to redesign these and these, all of it. So if you can imagine, we've got a drawer coming in and out, but we've got lots of weight at the front but not so much at the back. It's going to want to do that. So once the drawer is out, and it does do that, it might put undue pressure on that gluing surface there. So what we're going to do is just glue those blocks on, and that will stop that runner from coming undone. So you've got a mechanical fixing there as well. Right. And that's all it needs. We know the corners are strong, so we don't need these at the back, and we want to keep it as lightweight as possible. So 1, 2, 3, when that runner is in, there'll be another one at the top. Cool. This is how I do my drawer fronts. I find the flattest table I've got, and I put two side by side. So what I want to do is get these gaps all lining up. So I will use the same spacer. So that's the spacer I used on that cabinet, and I would just bring that across so that that bottom edge doesn't bind on the drawer that's going to be below. And I've cut that to size, and I just left about 1 millimetre or 2 millimetre edge on here, so when this drawer opens it doesn't bind on the neighbouring drawer. And I've got the same gap this side. So it's just a question now. I sanded it up, rounded off the edges. I'm going to glue this on, clamp it onto the front, and that more or less is it. And I will put 2 screws at the bottom just to bring the bottom of the drawer into the face of the drawer front. Right, let's go for it. Could easily put a couple of door handles on here, function as drawers, exactly the same as this one. The only difference being this one has got some solid fronts on, that has some handles on there as well. But essentially they are identical except for the drawer fronts. So this one comes in hot. So closer look at that one. See that? So that's coming in at just 7.5 kilos. Now, I expect these to be a little bit heavier. I'll just zero that bucket in. So that's now coming in at just over 9 kilos. So drawer fronts do make a difference. So this table's broken. It's got a damaged round, and one of the legs cracked. It's being thrown out. They're going to recycle it. The only issue with it, cut lots and lots of chewing gum. Yeah, different colours, different flavours, all got to be removed. But it's free. So let's get to it, let's clean it up and get it on the van. Right, so here's the chewing gum holding it together. And some other DNA. Here we go. Missed a bit. This is almost finished. I've got a few more tweaks to do on the bottom shelves. But if you liked the video and you found it interesting, could you give me a thumbs up please? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.